Hey everybody, I'm Garrett. We've been on hiatus for a little while, but we're back with a NewAngel.net presents Our Story So Far TV. Burgertime released on the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1987. This game is a port of the 1982 Data East arcade classic of the same name. The game sets the player in the role of Peter Pepper, a chef trying to build the perfect burger. To do this, the game evidently requires you to climb ladders and slowly assemble the pieces of the burger by dropping all the ingredients, and the top bun of course, onto the bottom bun of the burger. Enemies will try to stop you along the way, and you do have the ability to throw a fistful of pepper at the enemies in order to briefly stun them. Enemies can also be dropped through a platform if you happen to walk across and lower one of the condiments as they chase you, or you can sandwich enemies between layers of burger toppings if they're below. The controls aren't perfect. Sometimes grabbing hold of a ladder and climbing to the next tier can be trickier than it seems. If you aren't lined up just right, you may not be able to begin the climb. Enemy hitboxes can be a bit non-specific as well, as you think you're about to sneak by a bad guy climbing down a ladder, only to be taken out by him. The graphics of Burgertime on the NES are fairly well defined. It's a fairly faithful representation of the arcade original, and the characters and items on the level are fairly large. The level does a good job of filling the screen vertically. The animations are simple, but still entertaining. I mean, just watch that hot dog walk across the screen and tell me it doesn't put a smile on your face. The player's death animation gives a bit of depth to the two-dimensional design, as instead of seeing your character lay down in profile, you're essentially seeing the bottom of his feet as he throws his legs up in the air. The music is a catchy little tune, which I, shockingly, didn't find mind-numbing, despite it being a very short tune played on a loop. The game consists of 6 levels, and even though I only saw 3 or maybe 4 of them in my brief time playing this game to get a little taste of it, the music was the same the entire time. While I was pleased it didn't get old very fast, I have to admit, even for an arcade-style game, some kind of variety would have gone a long way. The sound effects are simple, deeper tones, which no doubt attracted some players in arcades, as it was a bit contrary to the higher-pitched bleeps and bloops of many other games of the era. But this game has a severe lack of variety, and since the game pretty much takes place entirely in a fictional setting, it's hard to imagine if the sounds are accurate or not. This isn't like Spy Hunter, where the sounds seem to have obvious real-world counterparts. Still, the game's fictional setting does a great deal for it, although it's very much akin to its arcade precursor. With enemies that will find you, kill you, and take your pocket change in a hurry, there is a little bit of fiction laid out in the instruction booklet. As Chef Peter Pepper, you must fend off the food foes while making perfect burgers. Use pinches of pepper to stun Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Egg, and Mr. Pickle, or lure them onto or under burger buns, lettuce, cheese, or tomatoes to escape their clutches. Making perfect burgers gets progressively tougher through the 6 screens of Burgertime. Peter Pepper has only 2 weapons, legs and pepper. Your supply of pepper is limited. Sprinkle it efficiently to avoid the food foes, Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Pickle, and Mr. Egg. If you fail to avoid the food foes, you lose a life. Everything is trademarked. It's like they thought they were going to sell toys. Okay, fair enough. We weren't given very much to go on. But it's fun that Data East went above and beyond and even gave these characters names, such as they are. It's interesting that this is a largely faithful port of the arcade original, despite the fact that by the time it came out on the NES, there were arcade sequels with additional features, such as 2 players simultaneously, that could have been interesting additions to the home port of the game. Despite not having deep new features, it's faithful to the challenge of the arcade original. And while we don't quite know if this is a fever dream or if gigantic burger patties are being constructed on Donkey Kong-like girders, as long as Peter Pepper protects the people from the food foes, then we can have a good time with Burgertime and our story so far. Hey everybody, thanks for watching episode number 101 of Our Story So Far TV. I'm Garrett, aka New Angel, and I took a little time off while I migrated the channels and merged a bunch of stuff here on YouTube, and I'm basically starting my subscriber count over again. But hey, if you're watching this episode to this point, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Please give the video a like, share it with a friend, help me grow this channel from scratch. I'm basically starting over and I really appreciate any support you can give me. As always, you can leave a comment down below or send me a message on Twitter at NewAngel, that's NUANGEL. Another new episode will be coming soon, so until next time, take care of yourself.